Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that secretly shapes countless love stories, the surprising reasons we sabotage even the best relationships. This isn't your typical dating advice. Instead, I'll walk you through a revealing journey, exploring 7 invisible forces that can unknowingly lead us to destroy what we want most. Stay to the end for some truly eye-opening solutions that could transform the way you love forever. Have you ever found yourself picking fights over nothing, or feeling inexplicably uneasy when things in your relationship are going well? You're not alone. Countless people discover that the real threat isn't heartbreak, it's enduring happiness. But why would our minds rebel when we finally get the kind of love we've always wanted? The answer lies beneath the surface, rooted deep in our psychology. Today, we'll unravel the surprising, often hidden forces that drive people to blow up perfectly good relationships, and show you the first clue toward ending the cycle. So, let's peel back the curtain on self-sabotage. What if I told you your first experiences of love set the blueprint for every romance after, dictating how much closeness you allow? Imagine Dan. Every time his partner expresses affection, he feels a faint pulse of discomfort. That's not by choice. His childhood taught him that love is unpredictable and scarce. Psychologists call this our attachment style. It's like emotional muscle memory. If your earliest bonds were fractured, it's no wonder safety can feel suffocating. Here's how this ghost from the past takes control, and how to recognize its voice in your own life. But it doesn't stop there. Self-sabotage often takes the form of testing, picking at tiny flaws or engineering drama just to see if our partner sticks around. This is about more than anxiety. It's a survival tactic. When emotional uncertainty is your comfort zone, peace triggers suspicion. Ever caught yourself thinking, "This is too good to be true"? You might be bracing for a fall that hasn't happened yet. Here's how subtle self-destruct patterns disguise themselves as honesty or just being cautious. Let's zoom in on conflict. Most fights about little things aren't really about those things at all. They're smoke signals for deeper, unspeakable fears. Imagine arguing over pizza toppings or missed texts, when the real battle is over trust. Emotional landmines from childhood sneak into present-day squabbles. But good news, when you spot these patterns, you can defuse them. Let's break down the most common camouflaged conflicts and how to dig beneath the surface. Have you ever sabotaged a relationship not with words, but with silence? Withdrawal is the invisible killer. When affection feels unsafe, many retreat inward, building walls instead of bridges. Dan, for example, becomes distant whenever Sarah is genuinely warm. He's not cold by nature, but comfort threatens to unravel his old ways of surviving. If you've ever felt safer alone, you might recognize a similar story. Here's how withdrawal signals old pain and the secret comfort found in solitude. The mind is tricky. It often chooses the pain we know over the joy we crave. There's surprising science behind this. Studies show children neglected emotionally are more likely to self-sabotage as adults, not because they want heartbreak, but because rejection feels predictable. Certainty, even in pain, can feel safer than vulnerability. Why do we sometimes pick predictable sorrow over risky happiness? The answer lies in the brain's wiring. Comfort in the known, even if it hurts. Let's get real about projection. The wounds Dan carries from his mother's coldness become the lens through which he sees every new partner. It's not about Sarah, it's about ghosts from old relationships. Has a partner ever accused you of something you haven't done, or have you done the same? Projections color every interaction. Past betrayals get replayed in present time. Learning to spot projection is transformative. Here's how you can start identifying it, and why it holds the key to freeing yourself. Sabotage isn't always dramatic. Sometimes, it's the slow drip of small rejections, canceled plans, rolled eyes, dismissing compliments. When you believe you're unworthy of love, you might unconsciously ensure it slips away, bit by bit. This is what psychologists call confirmation bias in relationships. We act so as to prove our worst fears were right. But here's a twist. The good news is awareness sparks change. The first step is noticing the drip. We need to talk about fantasy. When real love arrives, it never matches the script in our heads. Some reject authentic connection because they're unconsciously waiting for a fairy tale, the perfect partner who never disappoints. Dan struggles because Sarah's actual love is real, messy, imperfect, and that's what throws him off. Are you holding out for a fantasy that keeps real happiness at bay? Here's how expectation sets us up for disappointment and what to do about it. Sometimes, sabotage comes down to control. Ending a relationship on your own terms, rather than risk being left, feels powerful. "I left before they could hurt me" is a refrain many know too well. But is protecting ourselves from pain worth the cost of genuine connection? True vulnerability means relinquishing control, even if it means risking heartbreak. The good news? Letting go of control creates space for true intimacy. That's a leap not everyone dares to take, but it's the only way forward. Dan's story echoes countless real lives. He recreates childhood patterns, not because he wants to, but because they've shaped his worldview. If our original templates for love are flawed, so will be our romantic patterns, unless we rewrite them. Transformation starts with understanding. Here's the good news. Neural pathways can change. People do heal. Here's what actually works to interrupt the self-sabotage feedback loop and the vital role of self-awareness. Now let's talk tools. Therapy is just one part. Journaling, mindfulness exercises, and open dialogues with your partner all help rewrite destructive patterns. The bravest thing? Admitting when you're scared and choosing transparency anyway. Change is less about grand gestures, more about small, honest moments. Here's a toolkit anyone can start today to build better love habits. But real change also means community. Unlearning old patterns requires support, whether from friends, support groups, or even online communities like this one. Sharing your struggles lessens their grip. No one overcomes these invisible forces alone. We heal in connection. Think about who you might turn to, or how you could be the person someone else needs. Here's why community makes the difference, and a personal story to prove it. Finally, imagine the power of not just understanding your triggers, but celebrating your capacity for love. The bravest relationships are built by people who acknowledge their scars and keep loving despite them. Next time fear whispers to pull away, remember, each loving choice rewires your story, bit by bit. That is the real victory. Here's your permission to break the cycle, starting today. If this episode helped you see relationship sabotage in a new light, let's keep the conversation going. Drop your own stories or questions down below. I'd love to hear your take, and it might just help someone else. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of human connection. Thanks for watching. Your journey to better love starts right here.